Title Update 3. Title Update 4. Three little words that just fill you with such excitement. Anything could happen, literally anything, any monster could return, and it would be awesome. Except you. And that's the true magic of them. But recently, and hello my fellow hunters, I had a little chat about how title updates are evolving and changing in Wilds. They're doing much more than just, here's a new monster, here's a new armor set, some weapons, maybe a system like Safi weapons, etc., and on we go. We're now getting a lot of fundamental changes to the actual game with them, like the previously for Title Update 3 new endgame talisman system that is coming to us very soon, ahead of schedule and separate from said Title Update 3. But beyond that, all of the weapon changes, and the core alterations of the game, and even things that aren't related to strictly title updates, like making arch-tempers permanent, there is a lot of feedback response occurring in Wilds across the board, from the base of the game on a foundational level, all the way to the actual snazzy, sparkly, here's your headliner monster, and that's really, really cool. But it got me thinking, beyond that, well, we've had, 15 title updates or so across the 5th gen? What are actually the best ones? Which ones have cemented themselves in Monster Hunter history? And when I think about it a little bit more, if I go down some of my truly favourite monsters of all time, like most of them are 5th gen onward versions of monsters, either old or completely new, and they arrived in the title update, which I feel like is no coincidence. They truly are when the devs get to flex some proper monster hunteriness in a already established endgame environment, and because of that, they can kinda go wonderfully crazy. So without further ado, I kinda wanna go over what I think the best title updates have been, and I think the result is actually a little bit surprising. Oh my god, I just sounded like one of those pop-up ads talking about the results and how they might surprise you. I'm so sorry. In any case, I want to start with some honorable mentions real quick. Firstly, to collabs, Final Fantasy and The Witcher. Both exemplary. Behemoth is one of the most spectacular, memorable fights of all time. Lesser not so much, but the story elements of The Witcher, and it's The Witcher, definitely makes it up there. However, I don't want to officially choose a collab one for the top 5, as that feels maybe a little bit weird, because it's not truly a Monster Hunter monster, is it? Though Behemoth was incredibly close, and because of that I want it to at least come up in this. The other one then, or at least one of the other ones, is Kulve Taroth and the Caverns of El Dorado. Adding that entire golden domain was beautiful and breathtaking, and our Jagras goddess, well, was the same. The golden weapon systems may have been mixed in their reception, but they cannot be denied it was a really fun way to enrich the endgame as it arrived. Discovering her with the golden chips, the sudden arrival of her, she got announced like a day before she was implemented, the multiple teams working together and tracking and breaking parts and getting investigations. It was novel and it was fun and I think very memorable. Then the last little honorable mention, which I think may upset a few people, is going to be Elatrion. Don't get me wrong, he was an absolutely phenomenal experience, and if I was going to rate this on pure monsters that were added, though of course that is the biggest metric, he probably would squeak into the top 5, but I think he's overshadowed by the other Black Dragon you know for sure is coming on the main list. That said, looking over all the title updates for this, kind of none of them are truly, disappointing or lame, I don't feel like. Even the ones that were as literal simple as, here is just Deviljho. That's it, nothing else. It's just Deviljho and his equipments, and he's now wandering around the ancient forest, right? That was still freaking awesome to see, because it was our first little taste of title updateness, though they have certainly got more complex since then. So coming in at number 5, we have actually Wild's title update 2. Now, there may be a unremovable shade of recency bias here, but the more I looked at all the options, the more this just made sense to me, and kind of what inspired this video, because I think it's crazy that you really can put Wild's title update 2 here. Seregios is just solid, right? It's Seregios, he was already in 5th gen onwards in Sunbreak, so it's not like crazy to see him return, but he's already got a second layer of glow up, and his 5-star tempered version is one of the most satisfying of fights, both challenge and in terms of the dance with him in the game. But it also brought with it then Legiacrus, who is a absolute legend, one of the most popular monsters of all time, as proven, you know, by the popularity poll, and indeed is perhaps the single most requested monster to be added to the 5th gen, the leader of the Leviathans, a beloved flagship, and in terms of status of a monster they could add, if we eliminate everything already added in the 5th gen onwards, it's no contest. But then to get him so well done with that underwater homage to his roots was something no one expected. He's up there with an elder dragon, a proper spectacle fight, but is still just a normal hunt, and it's so well done. Then we get things like layered weapons, we got weapons themselves getting changes, like Hammer getting a massive upgrade, many others beyond that. For its actual impact on the game that it's affecting, this one is just up there. It's really hard to argue. It's not a very much overall glorious package of a title update that's kind of done everything you want a title update to do, and I cannot look past it. In fact, I think objectively speaking, it is better than what I'm about to talk about in 4th place, but I am only human, and I cannot resist my biases, because the 4th one for me is Iceborne Title Update 3, Raging Brachydios and Furious Rajang. This one is more literally, here's some monsters, have fun, and they're not even new monsters, but variations on existing. But I cannot deny both my love for Raging Brachydios, but also I think it is fair to say that objectively speaking, Raging Brachy and his hunt is in the top 5 singular hunt experiences of all time for the Monster Hunter franchise. His final phase locking you in, the ignition roar igniting the slime, the me or him mentality with that hunt as he's steaming away, damaging himself in this desperate last stand that only one of you is walking away from, the giant slime god that he is, and that incredible theme. For me, it brought me something that I will remember with joy for essentially ever Monster Hunter-wise, and I cannot ignore it being here. In 3rd place, then, we have Iceborne Title Update 2, one before. This, then, bringing Stygian Sinoga, which, as someone who's not the biggest Sinoga fan, this wasn't a crazy thing for me. He's just kind of here. Yes, he adds to it, but okay, you know, it's not like a huge deal, though I do prefer Stygian to normal. But this was Safi Jiva. It was also a new guiding land zone, which is a fairly big deal, you know, that's like a good chunk of map to explore, but Safi Jiva, I think, is special. I think Safi Jiva holds the title of the best siege fight ever in Monster Hunter. Honestly, probably on balance. The way he was designed was lovely. It's like everything that made Kulve good enhanced, and everything that made her not as good stripped away. Still not perfect. Siege fights are never going to be, well, you know, completely satisfying to farm over and over and over again, but I think as far as a hunt went, he worked brilliantly. He is the proud owner of the single most impressive spectacle attack in Monster Hunter history, in his Sapphire of the Emperor bomb drop, and everything about him and the new zones that you fought him through is just great. But beyond that, he is a red dragon, confirmed to rival black dragons, which is a whole other category. We could get another red dragon at some point, that would be really cool. But he's a big deal threat, and he brought his Safi'jiiva weapon system. Being able to put set bonuses on them did so much for build potential, unlock some really fun options. Powering them up with his unique drop to unlock all of the powers. It was such a monumental shift to endgame and added so much to do, and maybe just enough time has passed, but I just remember it all very, very fondly. So, what could beat that then? Well, in second place is Sunbreak's final title update, 5. Now, I am cheating a little bit here because I'm grouping it with the bonus update, which was kind of like title update 5.5, which means this for me is Risen Shagaru Magala. The Risens were incredible and Risen Shagaru Magala was no different, but it means it's a Matsu. A Matsu, who is of course, like Legiocris, a legendary monster that was awe-inspiring to get a 5th gen version of, but the way it was implemented was incredible. A real spectacle of a hunt, the wind tunnel in the air, all of his new attacks, but narratively, the way it tied in base rise with Kagero and Yomogi, it's actually one of the most emotional and best hunt tie-in story beats they have ever done. The history they had with it, the intro cutscene of Kagero wanting to step up, the whole letter he wrote for Yomogi and their fallen kingdom, it was just a really randomly out of nowhere, fantastically impactful hunt for what it meant and how it played out, and I really, really appreciated it. And then a little bit later, we got the bonus update past it to then finish Sunbreak in this beautiful 1-2 punch in Primordial Malzeno, who I think is in the conversation for the single best monster if you are rating it on the fight itself in all of Monster Hunter history. He looks incredible, his story role is incredible, revealing that regular Malzeno's actually the curated up variant and Primordial's what they're supposed to look like. They're a guardian against Geismagom and the Curio, and how challenging and intense yet fair that whole hunt was, and how it all ended. It was a spectacular finish to what I think is in the running for the best Master Rank / G Rank game, that is Sunbreak. It's a really special one, and I think this deserves to be up there. But not quite as up there as number 1, which goes again to Iceborne. Iceborne getting 3 on this list, I think, says a lot. Title Update 5, Fatalis. I mean, do I even need to explain this? Do I need to say more? I think Fatalis in Iceborne has a claim of being the best hunt ever in modern Monster Hunter, in fact just ever in Monster Hunter, getting him canonically actually happening with a storyline, with the guild getting involved, with all of the reveals that it, well, revealed, it made this mythical monster, well, a lot more real than it was. Showed just how powerful and terrifying he is, the Black Dragon of Black Dragons, the most powerful monster lore-wise in the series. Actually getting that, and it done so well on such a level, was just the perfect ending to a Monster Hunter game that changed the course of Monster Hunter history in World in Iceborne and what it did for the franchise. It was the perfect capstone and the only monster that really could have chosen for it in Fatalis. Like, that whole title update 5 just is Monster Hunter to me, and I think I don't have to really convince any of you of that. It is a worthy crown holder for now. And the fact that Iceborne, a Master Rank game, does have 3 of them, Sunbreak, a Master Rank game, has another, but then Wilds does get one, and it's a base game. Imagine how good the eventual Master Rank expansion to Wilds and its title updates are going to be. That's one of my biggest takeaways from this. That's going to be actually magnificent, and I am very, very excited for that future to unfold. For now, though, let me know what you think, let me know what you would choose as your favourite title updates, and until next time, like you enjoyed this, subscribe and hit the bell for more, consider supporting the future of the channel on Patreon down below, and until we meet again, goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.